Serving God is not always easy. Now I got this from a commercial on a Christian radio station, which was quite comical. This one guy tells one of his other Christian friends that he's going to go into his dorm room and pray for a while, and so he starts praying, "Father God, if there's anything of mine you want me to give up, to give to somebody in need, please let me know." And then his friend comes into his room and says if he'd be willing to give up his leather jacket. And that guy was like, "No way, man. I can get $200 for that easy." And so his friend closes the door and goes away, and then that guy goes back into prayer saying, "Father God, if there's anyone I can help out, anyone in desperate need of anything, please let me know." And then his friend comes back in and says, "Hey, Dugan just got kicked out of his dorm, and he needs a place to stay for the night. He wants to know if he can stay with you." And then that guy was like, "No way, man. Dugan's a hog." And so his friend goes away, and then that guy goes back into prayer saying, "Father God, if there's any way I can serve the community for you, just let me know how I can be of service." And then his friend comes in and says, for example, he says, "Hey, Chris is helping out with the food drive at church this Saturday. He wants to know if you'd be willing to lend a hand." And then that guy says, "Hey, stacking lima beans is not my idea of fun." And then his friend says, "Okay, I'll tell him you'll be busy." And that guy says, "Fine." Then he goes back into prayer and says, "Father God, if there's anything you want me to do for you, just tell me." Well, all three times, that guy and his friend coming in, there's reasons, that was God right there. I mean, don't expect, to be serving the Lord to be all that easy, especially being a good Samaritan, to being an easy job. So if you're ever praying, ask, for example, if you ever ask God if there's anything you can give up to give to somebody in need, or if you can you'd be willing to help out somebody who's in desperate need, or anything that you can do for God. Well, I must warn you, be careful what you pray for, because your prayers will haunt you. But whenever you pray for something, and you get those kind of answers, God's not being a smart aleck or anything. And He might just be doing it as a means of testing you, or whenever you ask God to do, if there's anything you can do for Him, He'll give you the answer of what you can do for Him, and don't expect it to be all easy or all fun and games or anything. Sometimes if God says, "Okay, well, how about you do this for me?" And may even seem to be tough, but we must be willing to humble ourselves.